All right, hello everybody again. So we've talked about multiplying polynomials. Now we're going to talk about finding the volume and surface area of different shapes. And this, believe it or not, is an application of what we just did. So we're going to talk about that. So first, we're talking about finding the volume and surface area of each box from its dimensions. So we have a little box here. We have all its dimensions. We have 14, 8, and 12. So this is also called a rectangular prism or cuboid. Okay, it's like a cube, but it's like stretched out, so they call it a cuboid. And the volume for this is always going to be the length times the width times the height. And then your surface area is going to be 2 times the length times the height, plus 2 times the length times the width, plus 2 times the width times the height. Now, notice that each of those is just a like different combination of length, width, and height. So we have length and height, and then length and width and height are the last two possible combinations. And those cover each different type. So if we have length here, we have width here, and then we have height along this side, we can see that we're going to have two sides. So let me see. Okay. With the length and the height being our dimensions. So the first one is going to be this guy right here. We have height, we have length. Okay. So that's this side right here. Then we have another one that's going to be just like that, and that's the one back here. Okay. Its height and then its length are the two dimensions of that side. Okay, so those are the two sides, if you can tell what I did, that correspond there. Then we have two sides that should be our length times our width. Our length, remember, is right along here, and our width is over here. So this is like the bottom and the top of our little prism. So there's the bottom, and we've got the length and the width up here, and that's the top. Okay. And then width and height are going to be our little bases over here. So height, width makes this square right here. And then again, height and width makes this square over here. Okay, and those are the three little sections that we're going to have. And this is specifically for a rectangular prism. Okay. So for this particular one, our volume is going to be 12 times 8 times 14, which is going to give me 1,344 units cubed. And then my surface area is going to be 2 times 12 times 14 plus 2 times 12 times 8 plus 2 times 8 times 14. And I will go ahead and spare you the suspense. When I put all of this in my calculator, I should get 752 units squared. Now, units are going to be really important here, and also the way you put it in your calculator. Make sure you guys are putting this in exactly as it is here, and check yourself. Actually, try it on your calculator to make sure that you understand what you're doing. And you can pause this video and then go ahead and watch or like figure it out on your own to make sure you're doing it. Okay, now we have another little rectangular prism here. Remember, volume, length, width, height. And our surface area was 2 times length times height plus 2 times length times width plus 2 times width times height. Okay, and we can call this length, width, and then height on the side. Okay, and remember, it's like you're taking different combinations of the length, width, and height. So it's like with the first one, we're taking the first and last thing in the column. Then in the second one, we're taking the first and second thing. Then in the third one, we're taking the second and last thing. So do you guys see how in each column we have a different combination of those pieces? So if you forget the surface area thing, that's one way you can help yourself remember how to create the surface area formula. And then if we actually apply this to these values, we're going to have the volume is equal to 12 times 10 times 15, which should give you 1,800 centimeters cubed. Okay. And then over here for surface area, you should have 2 times 12 times 15. Oh, did I do this right? Length, height, it doesn't matter, but length is 10 actually. Sorry, I'll fix this for you. And then height is 15, so this should be 10. And then our next one was 2 times the length, which is 10, times the width, which is 12. I'm going to add on my last one, which is width and height, which is going to be 12 and 15. And when you simplify all of this, you guys should get 900 centimeters squared. Notice that surface area has units that are squared and volume has units that are cubed. Okay, that's really important for you guys to remember. Okay, when you're ready, you can pause this video. You can take a minute to copy everything down, but when you're ready, flip it over. We're going to talk about it again. So this time we're going to put some variables inside instead of just numbers. So here it tells us that our length, our width, and our height are all x. So this means that our volume should be equal to x times x times x, which, as you guys know, gives us x cubed. Okay. Now for our surface area, it's a little bit different. Our surface area is going to have 2 times x plus 2 times x plus 2 times x. Now notice that we have this 3 times in a row, right? It's the exact same thing 3 times. So I'm going to have 3 times 2, and then x times x is just x squared. So this should give me 6x squared as my surface area. And this is for a cube. Remember, cubes have all sides with the same length. Okay. And then we're going to have our rectangular prism. For this one, our length is going to be x plus 1. Our width is x. And our height is x plus 2. So remember that volume is length times width times height. And our surface area is 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height plus 2 times length times width. And this can be in any order. You can switch them around if you want. So this means that our volume is going to be equal to x plus 1 times x plus 2. Our surface area is going to be 2 times x plus 1 times x plus 2 plus 2 times x plus 2 plus 2 times x plus 1 times x. Now notice that this is where our multiplication of polynomials is going to come in. We have multiple polynomials that we're multiplying all the way throughout this. So we're going to leave it at this right now, and we'll simplify later, but you will have to simplify later. So just keep that in mind and make this connection to the last set of notes that we did. Okay, now this last one, we have another rectangular prism. And excuse me, we have these lengths that we're going to use, okay? So our volume, we just multiply all 3 of those together. Okay? And notice that these two are the same, so we can have x times 8 minus 2x squared. And then our surface area is a little bit more challenging. We're going to have 2 times 8 minus 2x times x plus 2 times 8 minus 2x times x plus 2 times 8 minus 2x. Oh, that's supposed to be an 8. Times 8 minus 2x. Now, I want you guys to notice that these two terms are exactly the same, okay? And that's because our base has two sides that are exactly the same. So keep that in mind. So we can combine those two together to get 4. 2 plus 2 is 4 times 8 minus 2x times x. And then this last one we can rewrite as 2 times 8 minus 2x quantity squared. Okay, and we'll leave it at that. So keep in mind that you might have to simplify that more later on, but for now we're just going to leave it at that. So this is our application of multiplying polynomials to volume and surface area. So you guys will have a little homework assignment that I'm going to put at the bottom. It's going to be adding and subtracting polynomials, which is just like combining like terms. And that will be graded. Again, I wrote on the page, but the notes are not going to be graded. They're just practice for your own edification. So yeah, so just make sure you do the graded assignment at the very end. All right, thank you guys. Bye.